In this class, we are going to learn how to track the changes done by the user on a particular page in Visual Builder application and restrict the user from navigating to different page from a current page without saving the changes. Suppose I am clicking on one of the employees and there is an option to modify the details. Suppose I change the name from Lex to Lex1, and if I click on Nina, I should get a prompt like there are unsaved changes, please save the changes. Once the user clicks on save, then only user must be allowed to click on other employee records over here. Suppose if the user modifies the details like Nina and Nina1 and clicks on the next page such that the user wants to navigate to some other page, they should get a prompt saying that there are unsaved changes, something like this. So we are going to learn how to achieve the same in this class, and this behavior is known as dirty tracking behavior of a particular variable. In order to demonstrate the use case, I have created a fresh application in my Visual Builder. Let me first of all drop the list over here to show the list of employees in my project. Drag and drop it over here. I want the list. So I'll go with this, click on next. For demonstration purpose, I will just show the first name and email address. That's it. Click on next and click on finish. Next, I want another form over here which will show the list of employees in order to modify the details. For that, I will again drop the employee over here, and this time I will select this as an edit form. Now you will keep everything default, click on next. Now here what I will do is on click of a particular employee in the list, I should get a modify option like what we had seen over here in the demonstration. On click of an employee in a list, I should be able to get the details of that employee, and the user must be able to edit the details. Now for that purpose, in order to hold the employee key ID, I will just click on the plus over here. Here I will write it as employee ID and it is of type number. Click on create. Now this I will map to employee ID and the employee ID over here. Done. Click on finish. So we have added the list view of employees on the left side and the edit form on the right side. We will quickly restrict the height of this. Go to all, go to the style. Here I will restrict the height to 60 VH. That's fine. This edit form comes with the save button over here. Now what we have to do is we have to enable the select single event over here. That is the selection mode. I will select the select single. Now if I switch on the live mode, if I click on this, nothing is happening because we are not assigning the employee's ID to a variable which we have created and which is an input for this form. In order to do that, just click on the event, click on the selection over here, that is select single. Now in the variable, what we will do is we will assign the employee ID, the variable which we created, to the key. In our case, key is the employee ID. Done. Let me just go back. Click on the employee record, so the details will be available over here to modify. Now next thing is we have to enable the dirty tracking behavior over here for the employee. Because of this variable only, we are getting the data over here populated. If you just click over here, you will see the data that is coming from employee.email. For this variable, we have to go to dirty tracking behavior or the dirty data behavior, click on track. So if you want to know more details about this, you can read over here. Setting this behavior, that is to track, causes the VB Studio to detect when the variable's current state differs from the initial state. You can then build the action chain in response. We will see how to build the action chain now. Let me just go back to the page designer. In order to track the changes, what we have to do is we have to create an action chain. I will name this as track changes. Click on create. Here we can search with the dirty. You will get a couple of options over here or the actions. We have to drop this get dirty tracking status. Then we have to just see whether the status is dirty over here. That is, if you just click over here in the drop down, you will get the status field. Just we have to check over here whether it is equal to dirty. If it is equal to dirty, then we will return the status as true. I will create one variable over here or the payload which will return true. If the variable's value has not changed, then what we will do is we can return as false. Let me copy from here and paste it over here. Instead of true, I will make this as false. Also, if the status is dirty, I want the pop-up to be prompted in the screen saying there are unsaved changes. In order to do that, I will fire one notification over here with the message, there are unsaved changes. Please save them. I want this to be of type warning and this will transient. Now let me just go back to my page designer, switch over to the live mode, click on this and click on one of the employee and modify the details, click on another. So nothing is happening. We are not getting restricted because we have just created this action chain, but we are not calling this from any other action chains which is being used over here. So in order to make use of the dirty tracking action chain, we have to select this and go to the event which we had created, that is over here. Now here we have to call our action chain which tracks the behavior, that is dirty data behavior of our variable. Now from here we have to select the track changes. Then what we have to do is, as this action chain returns true or false, we will check what is the status returned by this action chain. So from here we have to select our action chain. Then we have to just see the status. This is the variable which I have created in the response. If the status is dirty, I'm doing nothing. Suppose if the status is not dirty, then we will assign the value. So now drag and drop is not working over here. Let me just first create one branch. Then I will drop it over here and now remove. Click on delete. Now let me just go back to the page designer. Click on the live mode. Now I will click on one of the employee, that is Peter. Next I will click on Eleni. Now it is saying there are unsaved changes even though we didn't change anything. Now this is because we are not resetting the dirty data behavior when the employee loads. So in order to fix this issue, what we have to do is we have to go back to the action chain, look for the load employee chain over here. Now at the end we have to just reset the dirty tracking behavior. Done. Let me just go back to the page designer. I will click on Peter. Next I will click on Eleni. So now we are not getting the pop-up saying there are unsaved changes. Now suppose for David, I will make this as David1 and click on Peter. Now I am getting the pop-up saying there are unsaved changes. What we can do is on click of save, we want to reset the data behavior, else the user will be getting the prompt saying there are unsaved changes. Suppose if I remove this one, now the issue will go. Either the user has to fix the changes or they have to save the changes. Now if I click on save over here, I am getting employee saved successfully. Now user won't get the error saying there are unsaved changes. Now to be on the safer side, we can do one more thing, that is go over to the save button over here, click on the events, go to save employee chain. At the end we will reset the dirty tracking behavior. Done. Go back to this page designer. Now if I go to Peter, go to David, I will remove this David to David1. If I go to Peter again, I will get a prompt saying there are unsaved changes. Let me just go back to the David itself. Now if you see, when we are coming back again and again to David, I am getting a prompt saying there are unsaved changes. So in order to fix this issue, what we can do is we can go to the action chain, we can go to our selection action chain over here, or we can go directly to the track changes. Once the user gets notified, we can reset the dirty tracking behavior of a variable. Instead of prompting the user multiple times, we can tell user only one time that there is a unsaved changes. Now if we go over here to Peter and go to David, and if I modify the David's record, go to Peter, I will get the prompt once, and if I click again and again, I won't get the prompt again and again, even though there are unsaved changes. If a user clicks on save, then only that user will be saving the details, whatever they are seeing on the screen. Now what if there are multiple pages in our application and if the user is trying to navigate to another page without saving the changes? I will demonstrate this. So we have created a new page. Let me just go back to my main page, and here I will drop one more button on click of which I should be navigated to the new screen. Drag and drop it over here. I will name this as next page and go to the events. Here I will create on click event. So here I will tell navigate to the page, that is next. So let me just go back to the page designer. Now in order to view the details, we have to preview this in the browser. Now I will click on Peter and click on David. I will remove one of the details, click on Peter, and if I click on next, I will be I won't be restricted from navigating to the page. Now, in order to fix this issue, what we have to do is we have to go to our main page. We have to create an event listener over here, that is before exit. Click on this, click on action chain, that is before exit chain. We can name this as click on finish. So here what we have to do is, instead of directly returning cancelled false, we have to return cancelled as true in case if there is a dirty data behavior. So in order to track the changes, I will call our action chain which we have created to track the changes, that is over here. Then I will drop the if condition to see whether we get true or false. If the dirty tracking behavior of this response, that is for the action chain, is true, then what we will do is we will return cancelled as true, because we want to restrict the user from navigating to a different page. So for that purpose, I will return over here the true. In case if there is no dirty tracking behavior, what we will do is we will return cancelled false. It is not dropping over here. There is a bug at the time of recording this class. I will just put a assign variable over here. Then I will delete this assign just to move the return over here. Done. Let's now preview this application again. I will click on Peter. I'm getting the details. Click on Eleni. I will just modify to Elena 123 and click on just next page. Now the user should be getting a prompt saying there are unsaved changes, please save them. So once the user clicks on save, then they should be able to navigate to a different page. See, like this. So like this, we have seen how to track the changes of a variable in Visual Builder application and restrict the user from taking actions without saving the details, like navigating to a different page as well as moving to the different records without clicking on save. So one more thing what you can do is you can have a discard option over here. So user can discard the changes or they can save the changes. In case the user discards the changes, then you can roll back the changes whatever done by the user, that is by resetting the dirty tracking behavior as well as removing the changes done previously.